It's time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielsen, Matt Cassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gate.
Happy Monday, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Two Guys and a Goalie. Happy anniversary to my wonderful wife. It's our anniversary today, and I didn't schedule anything outside of this for today, and a call I just had with Cool Bet about an hour ago. But outside of that, nothing else scheduled today, guys, because I'm being a nice husband who's involved with everybody today, you know?
Wow, summer anniversary. Well, I guess I do too. It's on Canada Day, so but I don't. I don't
We're
do
just
shit.
gonna say summer anniversary, and yours
Yeah,
is on
and then I
Canada
go,
Day.
oh,
Like...
right. I guess mine is too. Wow. Well, have fun today, Dusty. That's great.
We're going to see Elementals with the kids. It's that new kids movie this afternoon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it should be good. Then we're pawning them off on Grandma, and then we're either going to go for dinner, or my wife's like, maybe we'll just go back to the movies and watch Indiana Jones by ourselves. So I was just like, oh, either way. So nice little night. Cass, you guys have a summer wedding too?
We were July 13th, so we just had our
happy anniversary to you too,
anniversary number 10.
Yeah,
it was a good one.
Yeah, that's why you're probably gone on the trip. You said that actually. You mentioned that.
It was gone. Yeah, it was before. Like the trip was before the actual date, but it was a trip. So.
All right. It's Connor Bedard signed his ELC. We're going to get to that. I've got 10 fill-in-the-blank questions, which should be pretty fun. We'll do that in this episode 319. Yes, go ahead, Cass.
Is it possible to win the fill-in-the-blank contest?
No, and there's no buzzer sound or anything, so you don't have to worry about that. As always, Two Guys and the Goalie brought to you by Cool Bet on the Nielsen Media Cool Bet Network. And, hey, you can go bet. There's one hockey thing up right now, and it's Stanley Cup odds. I tweeted this out today because I was looking at it today. So if you go to coolbet.com right now, Colorado is a Stanley Cup favorite at plus 885. The Edmonton Oilers have the second best odds to win the Stanley Cup at plus 1,000. Now, Coolbet has a big presence here in Alberta and in Edmonton because of, the relationship with us. Do you guys see the Oilers as the team with the second best odds to win the Stanley Cup next year?
Can we just get together and bang out all these anniversaries all together?
So no, they don't have the second best odds to win the Stanley Cup.
Well, who do we put if they don't? Who are we putting in front of them? Like that's.
Well, let me bring up the. Let me hop online very
who else is
conveniently
there.
at coolbet.com, and I'll give you the rest of the list because I was a little surprised at number 2. Now they adjust those with their own risk, right? If money's already come in on the Oilers, it'd be a little bit different. It's like how Toronto always has low odds because they're a publicly, big-time bet team. Colorado plus 855, Edmonton at plus 1,000, the Hurricanes and the Devils at 11-1, the Leafs and the Golden Knights at 12-1, Rangers Bruins at 14-1, and Tampa Bay at 15-1. So that's the list of the other teams there, boys.
See, I don't mind having them second right now. Like if we look at the team, Colorado first, totally get that. Although they may have a cap crunch issue on the blue line, but they're looking really good again. They should be really good again, but so is Edmonton. And I think with Connor Brown, I mean, you maybe got a little bit better up front. Because even like all those teams, like I'm actually, you know who I'm surprised isn't up there, and maybe you can tell us where they are on the list is the LA Kings.
Good point.
I think could be or should be climbing up there a little bit.
They're 20-1, so they're about midway through the pack, plus 2,000.
Yeah,
they're actually the last team. So I said Tampa Bay at 15-1, Dallas at 17-1, Florida at 18-1, the Kings at 20-1, and then it's a big drop down to 30-1 with the Penguins. So the Kings are like the last team with somewhat reasonable odds, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably have LA up higher on there. I would probably. Yeah, I'd probably have Dallas higher up there too. Like I thought they got
17. Yeah,
I thought they got better this offseason with some of their additions. That forward group is going to be so deep. You have all the components, but I don't have a problem with Edmonton being number 2. And maybe that's being a little bit of a homer, but if we look at who they have, they got a really good chance at it. They just can't screw it up.
Definitely don't want to screw it up, but I don't think they're as strong now as they were at the end of last year. But they have Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl after another year of disappointment in the playoffs, and you have to think they'd be driven even more. And we'll see what Ken Holland can add at the deadline as well. And if everybody's healthy, maybe going into playoffs, that certainly helps as well. Vegas was relatively healthy come playoff time, outside of the fact that they had to go to their fifth string goaltender who ended up being awesome and helped them win a Stanley Cup. But anyway, those are the Stanley Cup odds right now that are posted over at CoolBet. Visit them at coolbet.com. If you like some of the value now, maybe not a bad time to slide in on that. That's Edmonton's hockey team. We were talking about Edmonton's football team before we started up. My God, I don't know. Like, there's been a lot of things along the way that we could classify as rock bottom since they won their last Grey Cup. But their starting quarterback throwing a pass left-handed while being tackled in his own red zone that's then picked off and returned for a touchdown might be the bottom of the barrel, right, Cass? Like, my God.
That's about as bad as you get. Like, the only saving moment in that game was your call on that play, like where it was equal parts crying and laughing for me, because like I was just like, what just I think I literally said, my wife wasn't, like, I was watching, she was in the kitchen doing something, and I think I literally said, what just happened? Like, what just happened? And then you know, your call on the Cornelius, if you're wondering if he can throw with his left hand, he can't. It was so perfect.
I felt a little bad because I really liked Taylor. He's a good dude. He's very chill. But what,
come on, that was oh man, that was bad. And just as a whole, I mean, I feel, I mean, Hernan's man, he's got to be going gray here fast. Like, oh my goodness, poor guy.
Of course, our guy, Hernan Salas, who was originally one of the four horsemen with the two guys and a goalie. He was our producer when we started this in Little Brick 4 or 5 years ago. Gager, you got eyes on Hernan at the game, didn't you?
Not only we pressed the flesh too. I assaulted him on the concourse. I saw him and I ran across and gave him a big hug, and he was like, I go, how's it gonna go? And he goes, Gager, I'm done predicting these games. And like I said before, I got a little too hot cooking the wieners, so I came out for a little bit of a reprieve, and I didn't bring my phone out, which it was in my jacket, and I should have, because there was Hernan on the sidelines, just by himself, looking into the middle distance, hands on hips, just in a bewildered state. Even from that distance, I could see him just going, "What is happening?" And yeah, Dusty, your call. The shirts need to be made soon, because.
I saw Jay Onright launched a segment.
I
what
know,
is happening, which was kind of funny.
That's awesome. So we got to get some trademarking going here. I smell a podcast. Just what is happening?
What is happening
in the world of sports, and going from there. It's a weekly thing, and I gotta say, Dusty, from being a radio listener, it's nice to have you broadcasting throughout my home on the speakers and hearing your voice at least a couple times a week. It's not every day, but at least it's a couple. And great calls, buddy. They're legendary. Don't do too good of a job. I'm worried we're going to lose you. So just kind of throw in a stinker once.
I don't think I can be cut from many more things, man.
Oh yeah, I guess. Right? Yeah. No, keep doing what you're doing. You're fine.
Keep doing exactly what I'm doing. I get to stay right where I am, I guess. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm flying to Winnipeg on Thursday, or on Wednesday, I guess, for the Thursday game against the Bombers. So Ottawa just beat Winnipeg, so they've got that going for them. So that's good. All right, let's dive into this bad boy. By the way, Hernan, we love you. We miss you. And if you need a soft landing place when everybody gets blown out, you can come back and produce two guys and a goalie. That'd be great. All right, so Connor Bedard gets his entry-level deal done with the Chicago Blackhawks. So we'll get to one Bedard question here in our fill in the blanks that we're going to get to today. But just overall from a team perspective, Cass, we saw them go out, make some additions in the offseason as well. I guess they're not going to be as shitty as they were last year, but what are you expecting from Chicago with Bedard at the helm of it all?
They'll be a little bit better than last year. Would have been even better if you didn't trade Kirby Doc and DeBrincat, like
and Strome.
I still don't know what they were doing, but they're going to be a little bit better. It's still got some rebuild ahead, but I think if you're a Blackhawks fan, you want to see some progress this year. I think of our friend Murray McCourt at the ranch in Edmonton, golf,
huge Hawks
country
fan.
Club, huge Hawks fan. And I got to think for someone like him, you're seeing some hope here. That's what you're seeing. You're seeing hope. They're starting to bring some players in. Bedard signs. You're excited for this season. And as you said, I expect them to be a little bit better. Not as bad as they were last year. Still don't think they're going to be very good. Still think they're going to struggle in a lot of ways. But they're starting to see some improvements. And a lot of it's going to be based on what Bedard can actually do. How good is he actually right out of the gate? I mean, do we see him be a massive difference maker immediately, or does it take him some time to get his feet going a little bit? So it'll be interesting. It's certainly don't bet on them to win the cup because they're not going to, but they're a little better.
Gager, so they get Bedard, sign him to his ALC. They signed Ryan Donato. They signed Corey Perry for $4 million for 1 year, which I don't get. Foligno, $4 million for 1 year. And they traded for Taylor Hall, who's got $6 million left for the next couple of years. So they brought in Donato, they brought in Foligno, they brought in Perry, they trade for Taylor Hall, they signed Connor Bedard. I'm not too sure exactly what the plan is. Cass, you got your pen up. You want back in on this?
I do. Yeah. Well, it's going to be a question for you guys. But I mean, I want to hear Gager's comments first, but then let's come back to me. I got a question for you guys. So
I like what they did with the experience of Perry, Donato, Tyler Johnson, Taylor Hall. You can throw him there. So they have a lot of NHL experience.
They're putting vets around them.
They can, that Connor Bedard can sit beside in the dressing room, go over stuff. I actually like what Chicago. I think they're going to be sneaky. They're like they have some guys in their lineup that are good hockey players, right? So I love that side of them, but there's going to be some growing pains there. These guys aren't as fleet of foot as they used to be, but just a lot of Connor Bedard can learn a lot from the players that they've brought in. Yeah, it's a little bit too much money they're spending, but what it says here is they still have 16 million cap space, or 14, right? So they still have the ability to bring in some other people and grow from there. So I think aside from their goalies, I don't think they're going to be as bad as I thought they were, if that makes sense.
Cass, what do you got?
Do you guys think Taylor Hall coming in hurts or helps Connor Bedard?
Ooh, fascinating question. Really good question. I think it'll hurt. Or no, sorry. I think it'll help Connor Bedard. I mean, Taylor Hall, as far as first overall picks go, has basically been taken through the ringer. He's been on so many different teams now, but he came in on a shit team that had a hard time finding some success. And you would hope that as he's matured throughout his career, he can look back on what he maybe should have done differently or better in Edmonton that could help Connor Bedard. So, I mean, I think I've never been the biggest Taylor Hall stan by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't think, maybe my answer should be I don't think it hurts him. I'm not sure how much it helps. I don't know. Gager, what do you think?
It really depends on Taylor Hall. Like what do the Chicago Blackhawks want from him? They obviously, I think you're going to see those two play together, but I just hope that he shows the discipline that he had with Boston. I think is best, just being in a supportive role. He's not there to be the guy. Or, there was guys way ahead of him in the lineup in Boston, but he was that good, solid second, third line guy that provided some offense too. So as long as he doesn't go in there thinking he's the man and has to turn the franchise around, because I think that part of his NHL career is done, right? He's considered a piece of the puzzle now. And like you said, Dusty, hopefully he's learned from past experience and becomes just a really, really good team guy. It's way too many stops for a number one overall pick. And to me, that's just something that we don't see or what's talked about. And there's attitude there. So hopefully it works out for him.
Cass, what do you think of this?
I mean, it works fine if Taylor Hall isn't an issue in the room. And maybe now being traded and moved enough, he's at a place in his career where he's just going to kind of do his thing. But he doesn't have a fantastic reputation. I mean,
this is his sixth team, and the Bruins moved on from him, and he was only making $6 million. Like, that's not a contract that many teams would really want to move out. Taylor Hall at $6 million. I mean, he only played 61 games last year, but the year before he had 61 points in 81 games. I mean, for $6 million, that's pretty decent value.
That's really decent value, and very potential that he does it again. Will probably play more. I mean, Boston had it was such a deep team, and not, I want to say they were just top heavy. They weren't top heavy; they were deep. But you had the Pasternak line, and he wasn't a part of it, and so they probably view him as being expendable. But yeah, I just wonder if some of the guys they bring in, and even you look at like Perry, like a veteran guy, like. To me, one thing Chicago doesn't have is, and that's why they brought in Taylor Hall, is like you bring in a veteran guy that was a first overall that knows how to deal with high expectations.
Oh.
Whoa, we lost him.
Oh, we lost
Chicago Blackhawks.
Oh, wow.
Have tracked down Cass. Oh, there you are. Sorry, Cass. We thought the Hawks took your internet connection offline.
They hacked me. Yeah. I just don't know. I just don't know if he brings in what you're truly wanting to bring him in for, which is to help develop this guy. Is he the right person to do it? I don't know. I don't think so.
Don't you think, though, that like with Perry and Foligno in there, they're not going to put up with. I look at those two,
and Perry,
they're not going to put up with any crap. And if there becomes I'm the big dog or something, or there's I think Perry and Foligno will shut that crap down pretty quick. Like,
but you had guys in Boston that would shut that down really, really fast.
Oh yeah, that's why it looked great.
But they still decided to move on from him.
Yeah, well, maybe he was trying to show his highlights in the room afterwards and between each periods again.
The great Taylor Hall, the body language highlights.
Oh my God.
Good discussion. I didn't know we get in. Cass, sometimes you ask great questions, buddy.
On occasion.
That was a really good one. Yeah, that was good. Speaking of questions, I've got 10 fill in the blanks. I actually printed them off in a Gmail, and we're ready to go here, boys. First one's Connor Bedard. I'll lay it out. You fill in the blank. Here we go. Connor Bedard will finish with blank points in his rookie season.
60.
45.
45? Oh. Cass, come on, man. I know you think like, physically it's going to be difficult for him, but 45 points? God.
Maybe 50.
I hope he's at more than 45. Cager, what'd you say, 60?
60. But they're going to be.
That would be a good rookie season.
That'd be a good rookie season. I think they're not going to be terrible, but they're going to get beat up. And I think those are going to be a lot of loser points after Christmas dog days of the NHL, where they're beating teams and they're scoring points when their teams are just not taking them seriously. And let me say this, he'll get the bulk of those points after Christmas, I say.
I'm going to say he gets over 65.5 points. Be interested to see what those numbers are. Cool, but when it gets posted up there. All right, Jay Woodcroft is a top blank head coach in the National Hockey League. Top 10, top 5.
I thought we had to put a word.
We're coming up with a word there.
I was like, what word?
Yeah, shitty. I'm not using shitty.
I think he's a top 10. I'd have him in the top 10. They'll finish in the top 10 this year. I think he slides into that. Yeah.
Yeah, now he's got like a year and a half under his belt.
Doesn't Stoff always tweet out that Woodcroft's got like the second highest or highest winning percentage in the NHL since he took over or something like that?
Yeah.
Pretty sure I see Stoff tweet that out quite often.
I think we're going to see a lot of growth from Woodcroft this year, having one full season instead of half, and now really getting his hands in on what the personnel looks like for this year. I got to say top 5.
Okay. All right. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins will finish with blank points in 23-24.
80.
I don't give a shit. As long as he just lights it up in playoffs. That's what really matters. He could have 10 points. As long as he comes in the second season and goes absolutely nuts, because really it doesn't matter who gets points, because Connor and Leon are going to both have like 120 and 150. So this should be good enough to make the playoffs. All the rest just come playoff time. That's what they need.
Nuge did have 11 points in 12 playoff games, but 1 goal and didn't really look like he was at a point per game pace, right?
Well, it was all power play. It was all power play, which is where I mean 80 points still too. I think you get 80 points just because of the power play.
All right, blank.
I'd say 80. 80.
80. Well, you guys both rated 80. All right. Yep. Yeah. Blank would be the best landing spot for Patty Kane.
Where?
And he's not going to sign. I think I saw his agent said he's not going to sign before the season. So going to continue to get healthy and then probably look around and see which teams have the best chance and kind of try to hop on one of those. Go back to the Rangers?
I don't know.
Boston.
What about why not go home?
But how much cap space does Boston have?
Boston's got 5.4 in cap space right now with 21 of 23 signed. So
probably not enough.
I'd say Buffalo has got 6.7. What does it be? I can't go to Carolina. Would be interesting, but I don't think he'll be going there. He probably wants to win one more time. I'm assuming,
probably,
right? So,
I would think, yeah.
I mean, it's he's made enough money. I mean, if he goes in and does the whole like $1 million maybe to play with some bonuses, I guess. But I look to Carolina, or goes, maybe the Sabres are on the cusp, right? He'd be a difference maker, and what a cool story to go home.
You got some good players there. Add Pat King to that mix. I mean, playoff team maybe. Katz, did you say somebody?
I'm just trying to think. I was just pulling up a bunch of different teams because I'm like, I like. There's a couple teams I think he'd be a great fit for, but it's
can they make it fit? Right? Like,
can they make it fit?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, man, Carolina would be a team that they could really use him. But I don't think they got the cap space to make it happen. LA would be another team, but I don't think they got the cap space to make it happen. Vegas is probably going to find a way to have Mark Stone hurt again right at the deadline, and they'll have him hurt, and they'll sign Kane, and then they're loaded up.
I don't know. It would be interesting to see where he. Yeah, the Kings would be an interesting one, man. Add Pat Kane to that Kings group. Woo.
We had.
They already got better with Dubois. So yeah, with Kane in there, they'd be downright scary.
We had it was my son turned 18, so we had family over yesterday. There was a heated family discussion about cap circumvention at the end of the.
Oh, was there? I love that.
Oh yeah, and my brother-in-law came up with the best idea for the Oilers, because he loses his marbles with this cap circumvention. Like it's funny, but he goes, let's just Nancy Kerrigan, Darnell Nurse at the trade deadline, and fill up that nine mil of cap space, and then he's good to go come playoff time. So, Darnell, watch the roads, because we might be following you home, and just a little fender bender, just a little neck twitch.
That's the Gage family responsible for that, and most of Edmonton would be like, brilliant move, use the 9 mil of the cap. All right, let's get into this one. The best Indiana Jones movie was blank.
Oh God,
jeez. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Try again. Last Crusade, man. Last Crusade was brilliant. I love The Last Crusade.
It was good.
You have
Raiders
chosen wisely. Cass, you have chosen poorly. That's what you've done.
No.
I think I have to go with Raiders, though, Dusty.
Damn it.
Because I remember going to the Capitol 6 as a kid and going, oh my God, it's Han Solo. And that first scene when he puts his hand in the light, and the spoiler alert, there's a skeleton that comes through, and it just scares the piss out of you. And he runs through with it. I watched
that one last week again. It's good.
It was awesome. I mean, You said you watched. I got to watch Crystal Skull again because I was like really disappointed. But then
I watched
again,
them all.
This was another family discussion last night because my I guess my uncle-in-law he went with his son to go see the new one, and although it's been getting horrible reviews, he said it was awesome. Him and his son had a great time. So
good. I want to see it. Yeah,
I want to see that too. So yeah,
no
They're
mention
great.
of Temple of Doom, none.
That was actually the first one. Did you realize that? That should have been
Temple
the
of
first
Doom.
one. Yeah, because in the first part it shows the date or something, and then the Raiders was
really?
after. Yeah.
Oh wow, did not know that. Blank Canadian teams will make the playoffs next season. I'm going to be up. I'll say 4. Okay.
Oh, that's what I was going to go with too.
In my mind,
Really?
I was thinking I was going to say 4, even though I'm not playing. I was like, I think it'd be 4.
I was
Who
going
do
to
you
say
got?
4.
Who do you got, Cass?
I got Edmonton, Toronto, Ottawa, and Calgary.
Yeah, that's what I got too.
Yeah.
And I think
I
Winnipeg
think
and Vancouver are out.
the Winnipeg's going to be close though, I think. Like they're going to be good, man. They got some good players.
Blank Canadian team will be the biggest disappointment this season. Montreal,
Winnipeg.
Vancouver, Calgary. Oh, Cass is saying Winnipeg. All right. Winnipeg Jets. Just because of everything they've been going through there, Cass. Yeah.
I think it's still going to be a mess. They haven't cleaned it up yet. It's going to take time.
Gager.
Oh, it's Vancouver. They're a dumpster fire.
Remember when you used to love Thatcher Demko? God.
I know.
Those
I
were
just
the
love that guy.
episode. That was like episode 220-ish, right? Like
He was
100
good.
episodes ago.
It's really bad because all the goalies that I seem to really like get on board, they just go right in the pooper. So I've actually been saying some bad things about Skinner lately. So it's good. So I'm not because it was him and Spencer Knight. I switched from Demko to Knight, and unfortunately he had some
that
issues,
backfired.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here's an interesting one. We could probably do a full episode on this. Maybe we will at some point in the summer here. But if we dropped 1985 Wayne Gretzky into today's game, he would finish with blank points in a season.
150. With Edmonton?
I mean, you put him with Connor McDavid, it's going to be absolute cheat code.
Yeah, but instead of Connor?
Yeah, instead of Connor. Yeah, let's say that.
150.
Still 150, hey?
Easily.
I mean, I know I say, and I still stand by it. Like, I think Connor McDavid is the most talented player of all time. Wayne is still the greatest player of all time. And
I just wonder if he could skate well enough in today's game to pump 150 in, you know?
Watch him in the old, watch him in 85.
Yeah.
Watch him in 85, how he just, like, it's not like guys were slower. Yeah, they're faster now, but Gretz was pretty fast, man.
It's the old, I mean, the argument of like, you got to look at the era. And so if you look at the era and look at how speed wise he was compared to everyone else, like it was never his speed that was the killer. It was his vision and his ability to see the game and make plays. And I don't think that changes. So yeah, I still have him at 150.
Yeah, he just dummies everybody. It's a joke. Like Cass, we play. You play those pro-am games or celebrity games with these old guys, like Hall of Famers, and they still do shit that.
Yeah,
it like I always remember like what was it? Trottier. Trottier was playing D, and he put a puck between a guy's legs, came behind the net, looked up ice, and sent a sauce to the far blue line and sent some squid in for a breakaway. Like it was, I was like, oh my, and he's an old guy, but he saw that from so far away. Just imagine what they would, and all you do when you play with great player, like good players, you get better. You get way better so quick. So Gretz would I wish we could do that with, maybe we got to do some We got to get some DNA or something from Gretz. And
Sure, you can do it on the video game.
Clone.
Yeah, same race.
Clone him. I mean, I was just gonna say same thing. I mean, the best example of that for me though, Gager, was I played a charity game with the Oilers alumni in White Court, and this was a couple of years ago now. First and only time I've ever been on the ice with Paul Coffey. And he actually, it's funny because I still have it. He used one of my sticks, like he took it and he's like, "Hey, can I use this?" I was like, "I'm not gonna say no."
Yes, you can, Paul Coffey.
Sure you can. So I still have it in my garage, like because he used a different knob, so he retaped the end of the stick and then he went and used it. But I just remember the first time him picking up the puck and then same thing, like turning around the net in the defensive zone and then moving up ice, and I was just like, and you can tell. You can tell. And he wasn't another guy, just as an example, not a Hall of Fame guy. And we make fun of him that he only scored, 49 goals with Rob Brown playing with Mario. But there's another guy where it's just like, he's not even a Hall of Fame guy, but just a highly skilled offensive player. At any time I've been on the ice with him, it's still like, you can instantly tell just by the way they play, where they go on the ice, the passes they make, the plays they make. You're like, yeah, this guy was an elite offensive player. Like you can tell. It just the vision and the understanding and the awareness, like they'd be faster with modern training, with modern equipment, with modern everything. And the guys that were Hall of Fame level back then would probably still be at Hall of Fame level now. So
Hall of Famers are Hall of Famers. That simple is what you're saying.
yeah.
All right, let's. Man, I would like to see that though. Don't you wish you could?
Who's the one player that you'd like to? Let's take Gretzky out of it.
Okay, all right.
Take Gretzky and Lemieux out of it. Who's the one player that you'd like to see in today's game? With
you say you take Mario out of it?
Take Mario and Wayne out of it.
I got two.
All right,
I got two. One which a lot of people that were around would probably agree with me would be Bobby Orr. Would be pretty fun to see. Just modern game Bobby Orr. Number two, the Russian Rocket.
Yeah, Pavel Bure. Bure was going to be my answer to the question too.
Those would be my two. And I have a really
Eric
hard time
Lindros.
picking between them.
Yeah. Pre-concussion Big E, man. There's no power forwards in the game today. That dude, healthy, like when he was like 19, 20, my God.
Yeah, that would be another
headshots. That would be good.
Yeah.
Mine are Peter Forsberg and Paul Kariya.
Paul Kariya.
Another good one. Korean game same
Oh my
no
gosh.
headshots.
Korea in today's game, man.
Korea in today's
It's a good
game,
answer.
I don't. It would be he would 130 points a year.
Yeah.
But here's the thing with
Like-
there's we could look up and down the Hall of Famer list, and it's like all those guys would be fun to see in today's game. Like Joe Sakic would be a joy to watch in today's game. Like Steve Yzerman would be a joy to watch in today's game. Like all those guys would be so fun to see and to see how they play. Like even you think about now, and I know he's not that far removed, but I go like, if Chris Pronger was starting his career now, like see. Like just all those guys would be fun to see. So it's really hard to pick. I mean, I still would land on Bobby Orr and Pavel Bure because I think they would be a blast. But all those guys, I mean, like you said, Dusty, Hall of Famers are Hall of Famers, and they're Hall of Famers for a reason. Like they'd be so fun to watch.
Yeah.
Can you imagine dropping it going the other way and dropping Connor McDavid with his skating ability into 1985 right now? Like, my God, just a freak. But that being said, nasty shit back then too. So different game for sure. All right, let's wrap with. Oh, go ahead, Gager. What do you say?
He'd have 8 concussions though in the first month.
Yeah, he would have been murdered coming across the line. All right, let's wrap with this. Just because when I was building these questions, I was sitting right next to my poster of one of his movies. But Keanu Reeves' best movie is blank.
Oh gosh.
I'll go the original Matrix. Still my favorite.
Great movie. Great movie.
It's still it was so game changing visually, like the filmography for an awesome story. Still that, I mean, I know some of the later ones just completely stunk, but that first one, that was groundbreaking. That was revolutionary. It's not like his acting was incredibly stellar or anything during the movie, but just as a movie as a whole, it was amazing. I still love that movie, so I got to go with The Matrix.
Remember when he dodged a bullet for the first time? You never seen that in the movie
and
before?
Just the
when he
camera,
was
like
Morpheus, and he jumped and they spun it. You're like, what is happening? Like,
Yeah.
bad example. I shouldn't have used that. But you're just like, holy shit. Like, I can't believe that this is happening on a movie screen right now. So that was a game changer. That's a good answer, Cass. I didn't even think of that one.
I don't know that he's pretty as a Duke Kaboom. He's pretty good.
He is awesome as Duke Kaboom, man. I love Duke Kaboom.
But it's
You gonna
I
go
gotta
John
go
Wick?
Point Break.
Point
I
Break.
know, I gotta go
Yeah,
Point
yeah,
Break, man.
Yeah.
Johnny
Utah.
He is just awesome. Just
Yeah.
awesome. So
As much as I love John Wick, I got the Point Break poster in my one room over here. One of my favorite movies of all time, and it has to be Point Break, in my opinion.
It's one of those movies too. It's when it's on, you
got to watch it. Yeah,
you gotta watch it.
Well, him and Swayze and Nolte, like just too
Yeah.
good, man, too good.
Yeah.
No Love for the Lake House with Sandra Bullock. Interesting. It was like a time travel movie. It was pretty good. I kind of like that one too.
Devil's Advocate's not bad either.
I've never watched that one. I've never watched that one.
With Al Pacino. It's kind of silly, but.
All right, that's going to do it for a little fill in the blank action. Two guys and a goalie. Really good episode today, boys. I think people are going to like this one.
Crushed it.
Yeah, now I have to rush to the movies. We're going to go see Elementals, so it should be fun, boys. Happy anniversary to all of us, I guess I'll say. Hey, we're all July anniversaries, right? So
the anniversary episode.
Anniversary month, yeah.
Just to, my son bought a car. We're going to go pick up his car today. Yeah.
First one?
Yeah.
Wow, we are in such different spots. What type of car did he get? Like a little used sort of shit box? Or
he got a 2013 Civic SL or something.
That's nicer than my wife's car, so that's good.
It's standard. So he doesn't know how to drive it. So I got in there.
A standard?
Oh yeah,
that's
it's
awesome.
So much fun to drive. It's so much fun to drive.
Do you guys
I
miss
took it for the test drives?
Yeah, do you miss that?
Awesome.
Like, buddies, I never drove a standard. Well, on the farm as a kid, I drove a standard, but like since I got my license, never had a standard.
Will you ever, Gage? Do you ever find yourself like pretending in your mind as you're driving that you're driving a standard? Like you kind of push in, like you have your hand, like if you have the middle, like the thing, like I'll put my hand there and like just do with my feet, kind of like I'm driving a standard. It's
I do it with my automatic. Like I'll gear down and stuff and not brake, and especially since I got into F1, I start in first most of the time.
By the way,
great off the line.
Danny Ricciardo.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, too good. Oh, shit. All right, boys. So that's going to do it for episode 319. Gager, that's a big day today, buddy. Have fun with that, man.
Yeah,
that'll be great.
I'll post some pictures on Threads.
All right, yeah, for sure. Oh, is that where you're at now? Okay. See you later, buddy. See you guys.
Bye.